Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for, just ahead of John Frenzy, time for a sports update. IOC member John Coates believes the postponed Tokyo Olympics can help kickstart Japan's economy. The games were to be held this summer, but were pushed back a year due to COVID-19. Japan could be in a recession when the Olympics open July 23rd, 2021. And Coates says the games could provide an economic stimulus. A second NFL player has tested positive for the coronavirus. Von Miller of the Denver Broncos came forward with his diagnosis to show people how serious the disease is. Earlier, LA Rams center Brian Allen said he'd tested positive for the virus. And track and field's governing body will lead a panel to advise on safely organizing mass gathering events amid the novel coronavirus outbreak. Joining World Athletics will be the International Institute for Race Medicine and officials from cycling, rowing, skiing, triathlon, and the International Paralympic Committee. They'll get input from a member of the World Health Organization's coronavirus mass gatherings expert group. That's your Friday morning sports update for Ballers Rec Room, Regina's newest entertainment destination, and their brother bar restaurant, The Tap. And the Tap, just the last couple of days, have opened their kitchen, and they are offering pickup from 4 till 9 p.m. Go to their Facebook page. Their abbreviated menu is on there, but the pizza's on there. Vern's Pizza, T-Rex, I recommend it.
They might have Regina's best poutine.
Oh, well,
they might.
Check it out for yourself. Good. And for Red Bull Canada, watch out for the Red Bull Wings team to make an appearance at some of the Rod Pedersen Show on-location events this summer. Red Bull's launching a new Peach Edition, which is exclusively available at 7-Eleven and Loblaws, Superstore, and No Frills. Red Bull gives you wings. Let's bring him in, Hall of Fame rider broadcaster John Lynch. Frenzy joining us on the phone line from his palatial South Regina estate. Frenzy, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. You just saw me about an hour ago. I look good tonight.
You look great, John. But were you wearing Rough Rider swimming trunks or underwear that you were trying to show me? I couldn't look. What was it?
It would have been safe.
It would have been safe. I'll take that as a bathing suit. John, let's start here. Our poll question is, what was the best Rough Riders Grey Cup victory? 1966, 1989, 2007, or 2013? What are you voting and why?
I'm going to go out surprise you, 2013, because at home here, fantastic setup, but just a beautiful day, as it turned out. It was such a big thing, big crowd, everybody going crazy. We wanted to win so badly, and we did, and we kicked the hell out of Hamilton 45-23.
All right. Thank you, John. And that's what I voted for, too. You, Darren? You guys all voted for 2013?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the runaway winner. So, Frenzy, what are you hearing, man? It's been 2 weeks since we've had you on the air when you predicted divorces, murders, heart attacks, and hospitalizations if there's no Rider football. What's been the latest in the last 2 weeks?
Oh, I think things have changed because of what the cities down here, the fans of Saskatchewan cleared this up. There's an epidemic. No case, I don't think, and now coming in new ones. The other ones are being released, and everybody's healthy, so that's great. I think we're doing the best job in Canada, followed by BC, or by Alberta and Manitoba, then BC and Ontario. So I think we're going to have that football this year, and we're going to have it right in schedule. The irony of this is we get 3 buys this year, which I don't know we need 3 buys, but this year we can use them. The first week of the year is a buy for us, and I think we can use that buy, get another week to help us get in shape, and but we're still on pace to go with the dates for the schedule for the games.
Yeah, well, okay, fair. An hour ago, Lynch, you said that maybe we just go with a West Division and forget Eastern Canada. Have you changed your mind on that, or your thoughts on just a West Division CFL in 2020?
But we can't forget about the East. We got to have them playing in Kitchener and Waterloo and London. It's great for Eastern cities.
Yeah.
What do you think, Darren?
Well, that's something that could work, John. I mean, I get it. The Western thing, it's that we've kind of flattened the curve or are getting there, and we're able to separate and isolate a little bit easier. So, yeah, it could be good for cities and East. But, yeah, I'm with you. As much as we'd want it out West, you can't forget about Eastern Canada and those teams. But I'm surprised. I think that's very positive for a Friday that you're on board with the season starting on time. I like that.
Or in July, of course. Yeah. So what are you hearing? I asked you about, your old boys club. Those guys are obviously poking their nose around with what they think about the season. Are we, you talk about starting in July, John. Is that empty stadiums, opening the doors? What are you hearing about the CFL in 2020 and for the green and white?
Anticipating they will be filled. But Lippin and the Shepherd and that whole bunch, Penny Shepherd is running things. And you know her, eh?
Yep.
She's Debbie Shepard, I should say, and she's great. A lot of brains gone there. Her husband is the lawyer, Paul Harrison. So a great bunch of them are meeting today. Well, about 12 of them or 15 of them by Skype, I guess it is. They're going to put some thoughts down on what they think is going to happen. But they think it's going to go. What they agree to, it's going to go. Now, if it's a real disaster and things fall apart, we go back to getting in the mix of the epidemic again, it'd be sad. We'll have to cancel it, which would be very sad. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think we've seen it. It's gone. And it was a terrible experience. And we're going to do our football season. And we're going to have it almost the way it should be, believe it or not, guys. And then it comes to the end of the season. We'll have the Grey Cup in beautiful old Regina, eh?
John Frenzy, by the way, just interrupting. Cooper Campbell, a football scout from Mississippi, is watching, and he says, you guys are doing better than in the United States. He's talking about sports coverage. And I did get a note from a Great Western who said, thank you guys for keeping up the quality content every day, doing a full show. And I said, hey, thank Great Western and the sponsors that are keeping us on the air, because we would not be on the air without the support of all our wonderful sponsors here at the Rod Pedersen Show. Now, Frenzy, do you recall your West Division predictions? And are these subject to change, by the way? You gave them to me an hour ago. I assume they're still the same. Once we get playing here, how's it all going to shake down in terms of standings?
The final. I told you it's a final. This is what I figured out sitting down here many days now since I talked to you last week. I've looked at it pretty seriously, and I really believe this. A great race between the Bombers and the Riders for the ninth time only in the history of this league. Riders win. Riders first place, Bombers second. Edmonton third. Eskimos third. They're going to be a pretty good football team. BC Lions, very improved with Mike Riley having a great year. And last place, I love to say it, but I really think it's going to happen because they're going to have quarterback opposed injuries. Calgary Stampeders in last place. They don't have any backup quarterbacks there. And I think that's just great. Down east, it's going to be Hamilton, Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto. Not too hard to choose that one.
What is this, pick on Calgary Day?
Wow.
Wow.
Pick on Calgary Day. I mean, it's time they got picked on. Look what they've done to it. Look how they've kicked us around. Look at the respect they haven't shown for us.
Well, you know, the respect that they haven't shown for us is beating the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It's so similar to the Patriots. Everybody's expecting the Patriots to go in the crapper since Tom Brady left. Do you not think, John, that John Huffnagel and Bo Levi Mitchell, Dave Dickinson too, would just love your prediction of fifth? And they would want anybody to pile on them and think that they'll finish last place. They would love it. I don't even think they'd be mad.
No, they wouldn't be. They'd be glad because it would give you something to shoot for. But they've had some good ball players there. Huffnagel will be able to pull up that magic hat and pull in some new replacements when he needs them. But he's reached the point now where he's come to the end of his line, I think. Just doesn't have enough horses to do it all. And the rest of the teams are pretty good. And that no backup quarterback is a big, big, big hole.
Well, I think Dakota Prukop would argue with you that no backup quarterback thing. But Frenzy, from that Cooper football guy in Mississippi, he has asked us to ask you your recollections of one Joe 747 Adams. He wanted you to address that. The last time you were on, I forgot to ask. So what do you remember about Joe 747 Adams, the old Rider quarterback?
Well, Frank Philjack was the coach. Adams was the quarterback. He liked ladies and cheerleaders. He kidnapped a couple of them and kept them at his home, which you can't do. Did you know that?
Continue.
On the field, he was terrific. He was sensational. Really look at the Rider stats. Up in third place in a lot of them. Only here a couple of years. Phenomenal arm. Phenomenal arm. Could run, make the big plays. Just not too smart in a critical situation. But too bad because the guy had it all. He had it all. The only thing that beat him was his own brain. And he played in some big games down there at Tennessee State. And in the NFL, he played a couple of big games too, but then he just would goof off, and they couldn't find him a couple of times. And that really upsets a team when they can't find their quarterback. So, but he was exciting. One of the most talked about quarterbacks we'll ever had. I'll talk about him in my book.
Oh, you've started a book, eh, Frenzy? Can you tell us about that?
I got to page 33 so far.
What stories have you told so far, and do you have a title for your book?
Lynch tells it as it is. How about that?
I love it. Are you following this, Darren?
That's good. I am now.
Lynch tells it as it is. He's writing his book. He's on page 33. That's fantastic, John. Anything else on that before we move to NFL and CFL draft?
No, I think the CFL is going to survive. I really do. And we're going to come through. Let me get this one off. like true Canadians, big, 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 and really strong.
Love it. John O'Flynn is watching in North Vancouver. He says, can you ask John his favorite BC Lion or moment? Do you have a favorite moment that pertains to the BC Lions, Frenzy?
Well, it pertains to the BC Lions, kicking that field goal in 1994 to win the Grey Cup right in front of me.
Were you there?
Yep.
Oh, that was the Stallions-Lions Grey Cup 1994. See, they're talking about it a lot, Darren. You got to read that book.
Oh, yeah.
On the Stallions. Frenzy, I told you I was going to ask you, and I almost forgot. The Bald Baron, Ron Barnett.
Yeah, our great buddy Bald Baron has got the epidemic. He's got it. He's better than Elbow, but, I mean, it makes everybody in Regina that thinking that Ronnie Barnett was not human show you that he is human. He's been down for a week, but he's back now. He's in great shape. He's down for 2 weeks. You got to go 2 weeks in this quarantine thing. He's back now, and he's back to work and enjoying things, and he's got a new girlfriend, and we're happy as hell for him. He's really enthused, which is good to see.
Wow. 2020, quite a year for the Bald Baron, Ron Barnett, former Rough Riders play-by-play guy who had coronavirus, as John said, was hospitalized, but has recovered, and he's back to work. These were the broadcast pair for the Riders on CKCK in the Lancaster George Reed era, Darren.
Wow.
Think about that. Frenzy, what are your best stories about being in the broadcast booth with the Bald Baron, Ron Barnett?
Oh, the best story for Ron Barnett, being in Edmonton and having to catch the plane. And not having a car to do it, and not having enough time to get through the final wind-up show. But you know what it's like. You do that wind-up show no matter what, right? We did it. We hustled through it, got downstairs, and got a cab who drove us 120 miles an hour, I think, to get to the airport to catch the plane. Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, I know all about it. The show must go on. Got left behind one time in a stadium. I'll tell that story later, maybe in a couple years. Sherry Petty writes in, Frenzy. She says, my insiders at the time reported Joe Ferrighelli had to pay off 747's $10,000 bar tab at the Old Gold. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, at the Old Gold and at the Saskatchewan, too. I know that. But you know what? Joe Ferrighelli, that's what ruined him. He loved those kind of guys. He's just such a good guy himself. Had such a tough upcoming. Finally got to be a coach. But he didn't get hard as a coach. He had to be a nice, soft guy again. You saw what Ferrighelli after Joe 7 went through. Nobody gave him a chance till he got here, and he wanted to give him a chance. So he did, but he had these problems. He liked girls, he liked booze, and liked to live. He liked to play football. Didn't like to practice too much, and had a lot of thoughts about some plays that he didn't think would work too well. When he had a couple of long plays, I forget who the receiver was, but he and him connected a couple of times for big touchdowns. And the fans loved the guy. They really did. He'll be talked about in the book, that's for sure. And he did more than one page. The guy was a good quarterback. He was a good guy. Nothing wrong with him. He just enjoyed life. But anything wrong with that?
Lynch, I think you have just sold 1,000 copies to the book. Lynch tells it like it is. Memoirs.
Start taking pre-orders.
Start taking pre-orders. John Lynch is writing a book on his time with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Anything else, Frenzy, before I move on to the NFL draft?
No, I think CFL's good. I think they're going to handle themselves well, and we're going to be all proud of them, and we're going to win this. We're going to win this Grey Cup. I'm not letting anybody
very
off the
positive
hook.
guy, John Frenzy, this morning. Frenzy, the NFL draft, by the way, what's your interest level on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, this is really something this year. I'd say about a 6. It's pretty low because it's going to be really terrible. They're going to be doing it by phone, by telephone.
Yep.
And I don't know how they're going to do all that, and especially when you look at the extravaganza for the Super Bowl, the extravaganza for the draft last year, extravaganza for the draft 2 years ago. This is not going to be an extravaganza. This is going to be pretty sad, pretty different. They'll get the first round done. I think they'll do the first 2 rounds. Okay, not too bad. Maybe the next 3 or 4 the next day. I don't think they'll go the Saturday. They'll just go the 2 days on the big screen and do the rest in-house, so to speak, because people won't be very interested in that way it's going to go. It's just going to be rather ugly, but the first round will be very interesting. Joe Bowman, the quarterback from Louisiana State, of course, will go to Cincinnati, and Young, that unbelievable defensive end, 16.5 sacks last year from Ohio State, will go to Washington. And the quarterback from Alabama will go to Miami. And after that, it'll be very, very dull, I think, quite honestly.
They've got it all figured out already. That's right. There's no need to even watch. But we have a bold Lynch prediction. John Frenzy says the Saskatchewan Roughriders will win the Grey Cup in 2020. In other news, the sky is blue and water's wet. Kenton Keith has checked in from Austin, Texas. He's watching. Good morning, KK. Thanks again for watching. And I'll ask one more question of you, Frenzy, before we let you go. KK, miss you more. Thank you, my friend. I got to get back to Austin and check out KK, what he's got going on down there. Brad Hersina writes in, John, he says, can you talk about Joey Walters and where he fits in with all the great Rider receivers?
Joey Walters, Mike, when I was doing the broadcast, phenomenal football player. Catch any portion of his body, get his hands on the football, he's going to catch it. Made several sensational fingertip catches, key catches. What you do to about him or on the same thing you guys both loved. Made the big play. They had the speed, had the moves. We finally got the NFL to Washington and had a good career down there. But he loved it in Regina. I've told him when he's back here last time he talked to me, he said he wished he would have stayed in Regina because people were just so great. And he said it was so much fun walking down that mall every day with the people come and talk to you. He said he had lots of girlfriends here too, which really made his life, and that's not the case where he is now. But he great football player, great team man. Great for the town. He's up there. He's up there in the top 5, top 2 or 3 of the top Rider receivers. We've had some great ones, Fantus and Elgard and Fairholm and Dominguez. This guy's right up there. Stan Williams. You don't know who I'm talking about, you guys, but that's way back in 1952. I'd say he's right up in the top 3.
I love it. Thank you, Frenzy. And by the way, you're talking about the girlfriends of the guys. What did I say before the show? You can quarantine the players. Where are you going to put the girlfriends? We got to think of everything.
Could crumble the whole league.
Where are we keeping the girlfriends? Frenzy, we're going to let you go. You're in contention for the rock star of the day. Love you. Have a great weekend. We'll chat with you next week.
Okay, guys. Look, great talking to you. Bye-bye.
John Frenzy. Checking in, Hall of Fame Rider broadcaster. And his book, watch for it in stores.
Yeah.
John Frenzy tells it how it is. You don't even know what to say to him.
So good. I noticed he didn't try and pronounce Tua Tango Vailoa.
Yeah, Tua, just Tua.
He didn't try it?
The Alabama quarterback. Nelson Hackowicz writes in and says, Lynch loves to dive into the girlfriend side of the business of football. Who doesn't?
What was the word count on women, girlfriends? It was like 10 or 12 times. That was good.
A football life. Could you imagine a football life with Lynch? And Joe Lazito in New York writes in and says, Rod, thank you for bringing Frenzy into my life. Don't thank me. Thank John. We'll be back with Canada's Mel Kiper. Do we have Dwayne Ford ready?
He's working on it.
Working on it. CFL on TSN's Dwayne Ford with a little bit of a CFL draft preview coming up. Hang on, everybody. It is a Football Friday on the Rod Pedersen Show Facebook Live, coming to Game Plus TV Network, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.